What is up, Renaissance crew? I'm the original Renaissance man, DaVinci, and you're watching DaVinci Reacts. Just ignore the original Renaissance man thing for now. I do have a tagline that I will be introducing in my next batch of videos, but I'm still polishing it, so I'm still kind of working on it and stuff. So, original Renaissance man will stick for now. Normally, whenever I do religious videos, I like to, keep it in an intellectual debate. I'll try to tackle stuff based on legitimate arguments and things like that, and I'll have some type of response that, usually is based on like my own personal logic and what I think makes sense. Like I said, based on logic, not just, oh, well, I feel like it's right and so I'm gonna say it. No, I have to have some type of evidence behind it. But today, I'm not going to do that. Today is just about wholehearted fun and laughing at religion. And this is Christian Cringe Compilation. Try not to cringe. If you cringe, you lose 2017. This was done by Trigger Happy. You can find Trigger Happy either by clicking on the link in the description box down below, which will take you to this original video where you can watch it without me interrupting and pausing it or whatever else. You can click on the username on that and go directly to their channel, or you can wait until the end of this video where I will have a link to their channel. You can just click on it and it'll take you directly to their channel where you can watch all their videos, subscribe to them if you enjoy them, and make sure you give them their likes for their videos. I have seen some videos like this before. I haven't seen this one, and I should have looked for a 2018, but I haven't seen a 2017, so let's go ahead and just tackle that because, it doesn't really make a difference at this point. And I will be tackling other religions also, so people that think that I'm just picking on Christians, the reason I talk about Christianity the most is because I grew up in a Christian household. It wasn't like extremely overwhelming or anything like that, but, that's the one that I'm familiar with. That's the one that I know all the arguments for. Now, other religions, I do think they're just as bad when it comes to, their belief foundation and what people think is a good argument for them. I think all that tends to be very bad and can easily be argued against. It's just that I would have to do more research before I can go ahead and tackle that, which is more work on my part, so I don't want to do that. Let's go ahead and jump into this and just have fun and make fun of some people that take Christianity way too seriously. Then again, taking Christianity anyway is too serious. Viewer discretion is advised. This video may trigger you if you are a major puss. I was trying to do a dashy thing right there, but I stopped halfway. I don't know why. Please refrain from telling us that you are offended in the comments. We do not care.
Daniel's followers are totally under his control, but some of his methods have raised eyebrows.
That's right. Whoop they ass. Whoop they ass.
Congregants are made to eat grass, and Daniel insists.
All I'm saying is,
from above.
I know what y'all thinking. I'm thinking too.
You're a stupid dumbass.
I wasn't looking at the grass in that clip. I'm just saying
In March, water began dripping down a statue of Jesus on the cross at Our Lady of Velankani in Mumbai. Parishioners collected the so-called holy water. Others drank it, hoping it would cure ailments. But rationalist and atheist Sanal Edamaruku investigated and said it was actually sewage water percolating through the statue because of a leaky water pipe.
Bro, he should have put that one sound effect as soon as he said sewage water. That Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Patty Burke eats pounds of goldfish crackers each week, but last week she found one she believes is a sign from God.
I pick them up one by one and I look at each individual goldfish, and when I picked this one up, I knew he was special. He had a cross on him, and he had a crown circle up by his head, something I'd never seen before out of all the goldfish I've eaten.
So you're going to start worshiping goldfish now?
Goldfish.
Patty thinks it's a sign that God is present in her everyday life.
Up one at a time and look at it, and maybe that's why the Lord chose me, because he knew I wouldn't eat it.
He has chosen you.
Behold, the atheist's
I'm going to pause this because I want to argue with this. But he has chosen you through the glory of the all-magical goldfish snack. You have been chosen and selected. He wants you to work at a goddamn goldfish factory where you will, sort divine goldfish and regular goldfish for the rest of your days. You're doing God's work.
Study a well-made banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 ridges. On the close side, 2 ridges. If you get your hand ready to grip a banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 grooves, on the close side 2 grooves. The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface. It has outward indicators of inward contents: green, too early; yellow, just right; black, too late. Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face. You'll find the wrapper, which is biodegradable, has perforations. Notice how gracefully
the contents don't squirt in your face when you point it to you.
Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. It's chewy, easy to digest, and it's even curved toward the face to make the whole process so much easier. Seriously, Kirk, the whole of creation...
I remember hearing Matt Dillahunty say, well, you can also fit a banana in your butt. Does that mean that it's designed to go into your butt? But, yeah, I love that argument, mainly because it's so easy to tackle. First of all, the people that tend to use bananas as this sign that God is created a snack perfectly for humans or human consumption, and he designed it for us, and it's designed for your hand, and this, that, and the other, don't know a goddamn thing about genetic engineering, because we have engineered bananas that way. If you guys see how bananas looked when we first discovered them, they look nothing like the bananas of today. Just like watermelons, just like broccoli and cauliflower and all that stuff, they originate from a different plant that we discovered, and we specifically bred them to turn into certain things. Kind of like dogs. We like domesticated wolves and stuff, but then through selective breeding, we turned dogs into specific things that we wanted for specific stuff. We got bloodhounds that are designed to go out and track stuff and sniff stuff out. We have bulldogs that were designed to combat bulls and Russell bulls and stuff like that. We have greyhound dogs that are designed for speed and being very efficient at running. We have pit bulls. We have they're like dogs are specifically engineered to work in certain situations. Now, this isn't God creating goddamn pit bulls and we just happen to run across a pit bull in the wild and it's like, oh, that dog is perfect for this, that, and the other. Or, oh, this dog is perfect because it's small and it's cute and it's fluffy and it's perfectly designed for people that are into that thing. No, we genetically made them like that. Just like with our food. The food wasn't that good. So through genetic engineering, we made it so that it's delicious. This is what people have been doing for thousands of years. It's not that hard to figure out.
Is the world flat? Is the world flat? Yes. I don't know.
Oh, God.
What do you think? I never thought about it, Whoopi. Is the world flat? I never thought about it.
You never thought about whether the world was round?
No, because but I'll tell you what I've thought about, how I'm going to feed my child, how I'm going to take care of my family. The world flat has never entered into, that has not been an important thing to me.
You'll teach your son, Jeffrey,
if my son, Jeffrey, asks me, is the world flat, I guess I will go.
Didn't Columbus already work?
The hell you mean you guess you will go?
CNN, and I'm pleased to be tonight's moderator. This is a very old question. Where did we...
Oh, I'm going to go back a little bit, but what the hell you mean you guess you will know? I mean, I get some things some things there's not enough time in the world to just be dedicating to it. Like, if it's not really directly impacting your life too much, then I can understand you not feeling like you need to come up with a conclusion for it. Like, when it comes to like something that directly affects me, like, okay, if I go outside, is there like a wild animal out there that can kill me? That might be something that I need to know. So that's something that I need to know an answer for immediately. But let's say, I don't know, let's talk about, I don't know, O.J. Simpson. The question of whether O.J. Simpson actually did it or not. That's something I'm okay with saying I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Even though personally I believe that he did. But maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Because at the end of the day, even if I did come up with an answer, it's not going to impact me one way or the other. Unless I'm directly involved with OJ in some way, and I might need to know if he's a murderer or not. But the fact of the matter is, an answer like that isn't going to impact me. That's some things we need answers for, some things we don't. But no, whether or not the Earth is flat is a question as to whether or not. Well, it determines how your thinking process is, what you consider evidence, what your threshold for reasonable arguments are, and things like that. So if you sit there and go, the Earth is flat, then that says a lot about how you take information and process stuff. So
tonight's moderator, this is
that's
a
something you
very
might want
old
to put an answer
question.
on.
Where did we come from?
An infinite, all-knowing God who created the universe.
Oh God, is that
to show us His power?
What's his name? Ken Ham?
And He made the stars.
Ham, something like that.
It's almost like, oh, by the way, I made the stars.
What is the one thing, more than anything else, upon which you base your belief?
God made Adam and Eve, land animal kind, sea creatures, and so on. Adam was made on day 6. And so, when you add up all those genealogies specifically given in the Bible, and that's why I would say that the Earth is only 6,000 years. When it comes to then talking about the past, you're not going to be scientifically able to prove that. And that's what we need to admit. You can't prove scientifically the age of the Earth or the universe. Bottom line. As Christians, we can say we know. And I can't ultimately prove that to you.
Look at Bill Nye.
What, if anything, would ever change your mind?
No. No one's ever going to convince me that the Word of God is not true. As a Christian, I can't prove it to you.
Not being able to prove it one way isn't automatically evidence that it's proven the other way.
Mr. Ham, a new
that's
question.
not how
Do you believe
it works.
the entire Bible is to be taken literally? For example,
the question of how we got here isn't either or.
The Bible
there
says
are many different
all Scripture is
possibilities.
inspired
You
by
can't
God,
just
so God moved
dismiss
people by His
all of
Spirit
them because
to write
one of them
His
doesn't
words.
work.
I believe it's the creationists that should be educating the kids out there because we're teaching them the right way to think.
Yeah, believe it, but until evidence
Earth's first
convinces you
land
to believe
plants
it more.
were small and moss-like. Oh yeah? How do you know? Did you have a video camera there? Where's the tape? I want to see the evidence. Where's the evidence? Fossils? These fossils are the evidence because you have fossils of plants? This is the evidence I'm supposed to believe that these were the first plants? How do you know? See, the reason they don't want you to say dragon is because they know there's evidence that people have seen something that looks like this. And if that is the case, that there's evidence that people have seen something that looks like these things, then their whole time scale is off by, several hundred.
Except the difference is, if we do come up with something that convinces us otherwise, we have no issue changing our time scale. Whereas you guys, y'all find something that destroys your foundation of thinking of something, and y'all just flat out change the book and pretend like it's been like that the whole time, or you'll just sit there and be like, it's wrong. See, the best thing about science is you have an answer. It's I don't know. That's the only valid answer in the entire argument. I do not know. The problem with the religion is they have an issue with the term I do not know, because they believe in a God that's supposed to know everything, and in order to say I don't know, that's like saying God doesn't know something. So they have to have an answer. It's okay to say I don't know until we have evidence to prove it one way. And even then, if we do have evidence, that doesn't necessarily prove that that's what it is. That's just our best explanation at the time as to how it works. That's why all them people that be like, oh, well, science is always changing this, that, and the other. And if they know so much, then how come they always change? And over time, it'll turn into something else. Usually that's not the case, because if we don't know something, we easily say we don't know. The only time science has flat out said one thing and has been so gung-ho about it that they've been willing to kill people over it is usually when religious people are controlling the sciences. So like back in the day when they said that the earth was the center of the universe, and if someone would say something else, something otherwise, they would get killed for it. That is because the religions were the ones that were in control of the knowledge at the time, the science and things like that. It's the same thing with nowadays with other countries that still haven't like embraced kind of like the Western philosophy and things like that. So like the Middle East and some parts of Asia and things like that, or even parts of Africa too, like they will sit there and try to condemn people and possibly even kill people because they don't believe something the way the Bible says it. That's not science. That they're still going by religious doctrine.
Million years. And they do not want there to be any possibility that a person ever saw a dinosaur.
It's pretty easy to figure out whether or not humans and saw dinosaurs.
This is a fantasy. This is a fantasy, like dragons. Like except dragons aren't a fantasy. Like, but their idea of oh well, dragons aren't real. No, this isn't real.
Except we have evidence for it.
Incredible.
We have evidence for it. It's not that hard.
Neanderthal man simply could have been a guy they found with a really big forehead. That doesn't prove anything.
Oh, I love this guy. His EX meter is at full, and he's just using super moves the entire goddamn sermon. The most overpowered character in fighting game history. Preachers can't do this no more. They got nerfed. This motherfucker took out a whole room of people. This guy's doing stuff Bruce Lee wish he could do. He took out an entire congregation of people with one hand. One day I'm gonna make a skit about a martial artist, and he just attacks with the power of the Holy Ghost and just kills everybody.
Off of their brand new cups.
I love his arguments because they're very fun.
Starbucks isn't allowed to say Merry Christmas to customers. Well, I decided instead of simply boycotting, well, why don't we just start a movement? So when I went in and I asked for my coffee, they asked for my name, and I told them my name is Merry Christmas. So guess what, Starbucks? I tricked you into putting Merry Christmas on your cup. And
you know that argument that people have on social media now when like they have this thing about, well, this girl says, oh, well, you got a small dick and you didn't last long, and it's like the answer to all of it is always, well, I still smashed. Like, oh yeah, well, your balls stink and you don't know what you don't, still smashed. But oh yeah, what did it, still smashed. The argument for this is you still bought it. Oh yeah, well, I made you put Christmas on your cup and say Merry Christmas. You still bought the coffee. Oh yeah, well, we're not going to boycott you. We're just going to go in there and we're going to buy your stuff and we're going to make you. You're still buying it.
I'm challenging all great Americans and Christians around this great nation. Go into Starbucks and take your own coffee.
I'm sure Starbucks has no problem with this protest.
To not only share this video so that the word gets out, but let's start a movement. And let's call it, I don't know, hashtag Merry
Hey, let's continue that.
And I know that by sharing
everybody watching this video, start going to Starbucks and just make them put stuff on the cups.
Guess what?
See if they really give a damn.
I made sure to wear my Jesus Christ shirt into your store, and since you hate the Second Amendment,
okay,
I even carried my gun. Yikes.
I hope he has a concealed carry and that place was not a gun-free zone, because he might have just committed a crime. Oh, I've seen this. This is funny because when they pass out, they don't. Notice that when people pass out on this video, they don't just like fall. Like when someone loses consciousness or something takes over them, they have no control over. They just fall. It's like they sit there, they'll find a good spot to get to. They'll make sure, oh, let me land on my hands and slowly roll over. Like they don't just like, oh man, like they just find a comfortable spot. He fell too damn hard. This person on his knees, turned sideways, laid down in the fetal position. All right, I'm the big guy. Big guy, where you gonna go? Yeah, that's right. Try to get between them. Try to get between them. Right there, where nobody's at. Oh yeah. Oh. Now where you gonna go? You ain't got nowhere to go. I'm just gonna jiggle for a minute. How come all of them are passing out like in the same spot? How come like the person back here is in I was about to say prematurely passing out. Oh, he did. Oh, well, I take it back. He kind of blew his load early. This person is determined to find a spot where he can be by himself.
When you say the Bible's not a science book, you're saying it's not a knowledge book. It tells us how God created the earth.
Right.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
So does Final Fantasy.
And so it is a science book.
So does Pokemon.
Arceus. For all creation. And it passes the scientific method.
Yeah.
It's observable, Genesis, and testable. Evolution's not. You can't observe something that's 60 million years old, but you can observe what Genesis says. Every animal bringing forth after its own kind. You can observe that in the fossil record and in the existing creation. You can see male and female, as Genesis says, in the existing creation and in the fossil record, except for a few snails that have male and female. How miserable is that?
Are you just going to dismiss that evidence against your argument?
No male or female.
Right.
You've got a little
that rhyme.
Yeah, it's a rap.
Yeah, keep it flowing, right?
Yeah, the Bible isn't written as a science book, but it has scientific facts in it that can be relied upon. Unchanging scientific facts.
Are they?
Thanks for watching this compilation. If you want to
he
see
didn't
more,
really
remember to
say
subscribe and turn on notifications
what the
for a
argument
reminder
was.
of when I upload.
He just said there's
Cheers,
arguments
cunts.
against it and then moved on. Yeah, there's arguments against it. I'm not going to tell you here, but there's arguments against it. Yeah, the hard thing about debating against religious people is usually they've already come down with this like fail-safe mechanism in their minds for arguments that they don't have anything against, and it's called faith. That tends to be their fallback. Like, it doesn't matter how well your argument is, and if you ever get them in a corner where they feel like, okay, well, I can't argue against what you're saying. Everything you're saying is true and right. So, well, it's just real to me. Or, well, I've had personal experiences or something like that. And honestly, you can't really argue against it. The problem is they think that it's a good argument. It's not a good argument. It just means that you have given up the debate. It's like, all right, well, to me, it's real. Okay, well, I can't deny that you might think it's real, but you have no evidence that would make it any more real to me or anybody else, so whatever. And the funny thing is, like, when it comes to arguments about religion, the people that say that, like, oh, well, how do atheists find morality? How do atheists, where is their moral compass? Why is it that an atheist thinks that it's wrong to just kill somebody? Because if you are an atheist, then there's nothing that's making you nothing keeping you from becoming a bad person. And when I was religious, I used to think that too. I used to think that all right, well, even if I didn't believe in God, like, well, I would believe in something, because what's stopping you from becoming a bad person? Never once did I bother to think that humanity has existed for thousands of years, and for a long time we didn't have that organized religion. At some point you can say that we've always had some type of religion, whether it was believing in the sun or anything like that, but a lot of early religions didn't have the whole consequences thing that modern religions have, that, oh, well, you have to be good or else, like, something bad's going to happen to you, so that's what's supposed to keep you from becoming a bad person. Early religions didn't have that. So how did we still become a society and a civilization of people before we had that pretty much that ultimatum hanging over our heads? It's because people have something called, I don't know, sympathy, empathy. Like, chances are there are things out there, like, there's good people, there's bad people, and some people don't have as much empathy, some people don't have as much sympathy or anything like that. Some people can be sociopaths, psychopaths, or something that pretty much triggers your brain to not connect as far as, like, sharing that emotion or understanding how someone else might feel. So, I mean, there are exceptions to everything, but when it comes to arguments like this, you have your own morality, and it comes from us being social creatures. Almost all social creatures have the exact same thing. We want to make sure that we don't do anything that could risk us getting taken out of the society. If you are a bad person, it's more likely that society is going to kick you out and you're going to be shunned from everyone else because nobody wants to be associated with that. And if you want to be a part of the society, then you have to respect what am I trying to say? You have to respect what other people, respect the well-being of other people. And one of the reasons why you tend to do things like, well, you don't steal from other people and things like that is because you know that, well, I wouldn't want someone stealing from me, so I'm not going to steal from you. I understand how hard you work for this. I understand how long it takes for something like this to happen. So I'm not going to steal from you because I don't want that to happen to me. Because I know how it would feel if somebody stole from me. That's how social creatures work. And the funny thing is, what I was about to say about the Bible is, when it comes to morality, a lot of people will put their own moralities and pretty much force them into the Bible, despite the fact that the Bible has things that people consider unmoral in it. Like when it comes to slavery, or when it comes to taking sex slaves, or when it comes to being genocidal, or when it comes to being misogynistic, when it comes to being sexist, when it comes to all that. People don't seem to put the Bible in the same breath as their morality, despite the fact that they will admit that that is wrong. They think that, oh, well, God can't be wrong. Everything God does is thus moral. So if God says something, like the whole Abraham and Isaac thing, like, well, if God say it's moral to kill your son, then it must be moral. He must know something. But then they'll sit there and tell you, like, all right, well, what if someone else told you to do that? Oh, no, that's wrong. Like, you know it's wrong. Why? Like, you're more moral than your God. You are more moral than your God. You can look at something and to say that that's wrong. You can look at something in the Bible and say that that's wrong. But people will sit there and still be like, oh, well, the reason we had slavery back then was because God was just trying to stay in contact with those people and trying to have something they could understand, and then over time change the way they think. No, if God knew it was wrong, he knew it was wrong from day one. There is no, okay, well, I'm gonna compromise with these people that are doing something wrong so that in the future, you know, they can learn the errors of their mistake or some bullshit. No. if you say that it's supposed to be right, and if the whole argument is, well, what God says is moral, then if God would have said it back then, it would have been just as moral as it is now. That's my argument. Why the hell? And like I said, I don't like necessarily picking on religion. This is the reason I'm even bringing this up, is because this is stuff that I can say to you guys. I respect people around me to the point where, like, if they're religious, I'm not going to just run up to them and start preaching this. Wow, preaching. I'm not going to start spewing this atheist stuff on them, because I don't care, and I don't care to convert anybody. Anybody watching this and they are listening to me talk about this, let me see how much time I got left. Anybody listening to this, I'm not doing this because of, you know, art to convert anybody. I don't really care. But I gotta wrap this up. And I'm the original Renaissance man, DaVinci. You can go ahead and check out Trigger Happy's channel on this video just by clicking the link on the end screen. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and all the good stuff. And hopefully I will see you in the future, or a future video. So, deuces.